Albuquerque, New Mexico. Quiet, high desert. Sandia Peak at 10,400 feet borders Albuquerque. These mountains can make or break storm fronts, but one time of year, the winds are just right. And then, this high desert isn't so quiet anymore. Albuquerque is a nice town. Great food, stylish blend of traditional and contemporary, with the world's longest tramway to get to great skiing. But the really big attraction happens once yearly, during October, and there's nothing else like it. As the biggest ballooning event in the world, the Kodak-Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta has everything. 9 days of extravagant colors, fantasy for kids, high spirits for adults, imagination for everybody, the old, the young, and of course, even monks. All of these dynamic elements blend into great aerosport competitions. The Fiesta always begins at 5 a.m. with the Dawn Patrol. These sky chariots of fire foreshadow an incredible event. Nearly 200,000 people have come to see it on the first morning. It's known as Mass Ascension.
I do love balloon festing. This is my first, though, actually. Trying to hitch a ride.
The excitement is unbelievable. You see the color and millions of Kodak moments everywhere we go. It's fantastic. It just epitomizes what we're all about. You know, people come here, they want to remember this great event, the beautiful colors, and there's no better way to remember it than take a picture.
And for every balloon, there are 10 cameras clicking. There are over 25 million photographs taken during the 9-day Fiesta. People come back year after year, including the best balloon pilots in the world. After 18 years of ballooning, pilot Bill Bussey still loves mass ascensions.
I was flying airplanes, I was taking soaring lessons, I was looking for something to compete with. Didn't know exactly what it was, but I was truly enamored with all the fire, the wicker, the fabric.
From Texas, Bill Bussey is one of the best balloonists in the world, and he's one of our featured pilots. Winner of 34 championships, Bussey holds 13 world and 28 national records for hot air distance and duration flights. Bill's brother, Bruce Bussey, learned how to fly from Bill, but Bruce thinks he'll beat his brother. The winner of 9 championships, Bruce said that he usually takes it easy at Albuquerque, but since we're shooting for television, well, he'll try to win. Phil Glebe from Michigan has 19 years as a commercially rated pilot. He was the 1994 national champion and came in second in the 1995 World Championships. From Arizona, Kevin Flanagan normally flies adventure flights in the Rockies and flies balloon snow skiing trips. He's been racing cars and decided to return to the competitive balloon scene this year in Albuquerque. Jetta Shantz from Florida is an accomplished balloonist and one of the few women pilots in ballooning. She recently set the women's hot air altitude record at 32,800 feet on a solo flight. From New Mexico, Wayne Bond flies the Norwest Bank special-shaped Little Buck, the biggest penny bank in the world at 80 feet tall and 75 feet wide. As a regular-shaped balloonist, Bond was New Mexico's 1994 Top Gun champion. Also from New Mexico, Mark Sullivan is the only 3-time winner of the New Mexico State Championship. He is not only a hot air pilot, he's the 1995 U.S. National Gas Balloon Champion. And the 1995 world champion Joe Hartzell will be flying an experimental balloon for Norwest Bank, Spider-Man. Hartzell, yet another Texan, barely won the world championship in a tight race with Glebe.
We all help one another. Basically, we're all good pilots. We love to compete. What we try to do is to get each of us down the fairway, but when it comes to the putting green, you're on your own there. And I'll do anything I can to beat Phil and Mark Sullivan and Wayne Bond and Joe Hartzell, because those guys are great. If you beat them, you've done something. But once I'm past the target, I'll actually help them try to beat me. And they will do the same for me.
They all love a challenge. They come to defy gravity. They ride the wind. The competitors push and shove. They all want to win cash of the 1996 Pontiac Sunfire, all 650 pilots. Ballooning is growing as a recreation and as a competitive sport. The Balloon Federation of America is the sanctioning body for competitions across the country. They work with the FAA to help ensure safe flying and work with pilots to create challenging events. Phil Glebe and Bill and Bruce Bussey arrived the day before the event for a little practice. We checked out their preparation.
Well, this is just a toy balloon filled with helium, which we have it filled to a certain diameter so that it climbs at 340 feet per minute. We're going to release it, and Kelly is going to time it, and every 25 seconds he's going to give us a warning, and then 5 seconds later he'll say mark. At that particular time, I will take a compass and give you a compass heading, 357. Phil will immediately give me an angle,
35.
and Bruce will record that angle. It's the same.
47, 40, 36, 35, 35.
We're going to take several minutes of this, and every 30 seconds taking these readings, we will take that information over to the computer and we'll print a graph. That way we will know exactly what the winds are doing at particular altitudes. If we were to launch here, we would go south, but as we climb in altitude, we can almost go in any direction we want to. So the average pilot should be able to fly to any target and score well on this morning's flight.
High-tech tools like GPS and computers have become popular since competitions increasingly offer more prize money. However, luck is still a low-tech necessity. To launch, pilots must carefully lay out their balloons and cold inflate with powerful fans. Once the envelope is full of cold air, the pilot kicks on the propane burners to hot inflate and stand vertical, ready for launch. Bill, Bruce, and Phil took off from the deserted field to try for a sample target a little more than a mile off-site. Floating is nice, but flying is sport. The passion of flyers is to work the winds and compete.
Target's 1.2 miles south-southwest.
The slightest increase or decrease in altitude can mean moving faster or slower for the balloon. It may also mean turning left or right.
Now I've moved to the east, and what I'm going to do is descend about 600 feet and hope to pick up a southerly flow that will take us towards the target.
So pilots must burn and vent to stay in the right airstream, or rise or drop to catch another current. It's a challenge. Airstreams can change direction and speed every few hundred feet of altitude, and change again every few minutes. Pilot skill means choosing and riding invisible air currents to hit a target within a few feet of the center. During competition, baskets can never touch the ground. Good pilots try to get as low as they can to drop the scoring beanbag onto the target. But if pilots misjudge the winds, they will miss a pole target or be forced to throw their baggie from far away. They hate that.
Winds are changing real quick on us this morning. As the sun gets higher, we're getting an influence from the heating, which is changing those mountain winds we had earlier. And that earlier wind to the north, to the southeast is dissipating.
We're probably within 50 yards of it now.
still unacceptable.
Bill, I'm going to climb out about 1,200 feet and back up to the north a little bit and get a better run at this thing.
During his last record-breaking distance flight of nearly 900 miles, Bussey was forced to deflate and go into a terminal velocity descent. That's falling at 1,400 feet per minute. Bussey finally decided to land, not happy with his practice. He knew he'd need to be within inches of dead center to be competitive. Chase crews are critical for pilots. They stay in touch by radio and they must follow the pilot. That means driving to any imaginable location depending on the winds. If winds are high, the crew needs to stay ahead of their pilot, predict his location, and be waiting to assist with a potentially dangerous landing. As the balloon deflates, a crew member controls the top with a crown line. The crew lays out the fabric so that it will unroll quickly and easily for cold inflation.
We like to make sure there are no tears, the balloon's in good condition. I do a little walk around each time.
Crews and pilots are very careful with baskets, propane tanks, and the delicate envelope fabric. A competition balloon can cost over $25,000 for a basic model. Hot air balloon envelopes are made of ripstop nylon or Dacron. It takes about 1,200 square yards of fabric and around 5 miles of stitching to create an average competition balloon envelope. Wayne Bond showed us the structure of a classic balloon basket.
This component has been used over 200 years in ballooning. They've used steel, they've used your new plastics, but nothing gives and nothing will absorb the shock of a balloon coming in and landing. You'll notice we just have leather on the bottom. This is the upper structure of the balloon. This is the flexi poles, and you'll find that this gives you a shock absorber effect that you don't have in all balloons. This is the cable that stretches all the way through the basket, all the way underneath and to the top. This is what holds the balloon together. And over here you have your propane lines, which are directly hooked into the propane tank here. And each propane tank on this particular balloon holds 15 gallons of propane. It gives you about an hour of fuel per tank. Actually, this was made special for me, and I actually have a pad that is in the bottom of the basket, and you'll see, so I cannot see down straight through the wicker and see the ground because I'm afraid of heights. And I'm one of the top balloonists in the country, and I can't look straight down. So when people say that they want to go for a ride with me, they won't go because they're afraid to get on a ladder, I say, hey, it is no problem, I'll show you how to do it.
Race day number 1 begins at 5 a.m. with the Dawn Patrol. Below the Dawn Patrol, city lights flicker, and people down hot coffee and spicy breakfast burritos waiting for the competitions to begin. As dawn greets the Dawn Patrol, the pilots' meeting begins at 6:30 sharp every day. Pilots gather at the command tower to get weather updates from, of course, the weather wizard.
At 300 feet above the ground, it swings around 33 degrees at 2 knots.
Pilots get flight information, get their bean bags, and listen to orientation by none other than the Balloon Meister. What does a Balloon Meister do?
You know, I think the thing is trying to synchronize the launches. I mean, we're putting 650 balloons in the air at one time, and the launch directors are very important in that. And so sometimes there's a little lack of communication at times, so maybe we're launching some balloons maybe a little closer than we'd like, but the pilots do a good job. I mean, they really are in command of our aircraft, and you know, that's the big thing. It's just a coordination, synchronization.
Kevin Flanagan prepares to be the first launch displaying the American flag for the national anthem. About 1.5 miles away, judges roll out one of 2 targets that our pilots can try for. Beanbags with pilot info will be landing everywhere. People crowd around the balloons to hear the roar of the fans, feel the heat, and hear the blast of propane burners, and watch the graceful launches. The crowd won't see target throws off-site, but they feed off the tremendous energy of the massive launch. And the pilots are stars of the show. The adrenaline rush is beginning for our pilots on this first day of competition.
Competition's gonna be stiff this morning, though. It's gonna be good, hard flying.
Actually, what I'm going to do is try to lift off, have 3 or 4 balloons out in front of me to act like a little rabbit, and I can go to school on them.
There's a pretty good right turn on the deck right now, and a little bit of a left turn up above, so actually in the first 300 or 400 feet there's some pretty good steers.
About every 100 to 200 feet you have a little bit of a different wind direction, and we're kind of like playing billiards. We're trying to take and make a bank shot and come in to the target.
We do have the steering this morning to go to the target. If not, I'll climb back it and make another run at it.
Bill, oh, I can beat him any day. He taught me how, but he forgot some of the tricks in the old days, you know.
What I don't want to do is make a drop from altitude. I want to come down to 10 or 15 feet off the ground and do what I call a curtsy throw. That's where you bow over and drop it in the middle of the target.
He's gonna have about a 1 foot drop, but I'm gonna have about a 1 inch today. So we're gonna show him how to do it today.
See what happens.
See you at the target.
And they're off. The first wave has workable winds, but they're shifting at different altitudes. At the target, the first balloons are seen rising. Bruce is riding the winds aloft. Flanagan is also coming in very high. Glebe lines up nicely with the target for a very nice drop. Bond can't get close enough for a good throw, but he's all over the cash bonus balloon. Instant $100. Flanagan sets up, but he can't get it into the surface wind. Bill Bussey comes in on an amazingly accurate line, right for the target. He can taste it. Bill's path is awesome. Looks like his prediction will happen. Beautiful drop, a perfect example of flying. The judges record a perfect score, 0-0, 0 feet, 0 inches from center. Paul Smith in 343 has a good approach. Smith makes a great shot from a high pass. Flanagan throws for some points, but knows he's up against great scores today. Bruce isn't willing to be outdone by brother Bill. Bruce is bringing his Cadillac-style balloon right to the target. And the quiet Texan Bruce Bussey flies just like his brother for a great drop. Could also be a perfect drop. The second event is a target on the field. Sullivan moves in for a calculated and graceful drop. Tuesday's pilot briefing declares good winds on day 2 of competition, and Monday's results are announced.
Second place, Bruce Bussey. First place, Bill Bussey. A sweep by the Bussey boys.
Top 3, Bill Bussey had a 0-0 perfect score. Brother Bruce was 0-5,000, only 5 inches off, and Sullivan had an excellent .6667. The Bussey brothers will be tough competitors. They're a breed apart, definite balloon animals. But there's another animal that herds at the pilot briefings, zebras. Zebras are launch directors for the balloons. It's a very serious job, but they'll never admit it.
Pilots can get stressed out here with 650 balloons, so you have to be good with people. And you have to work together. Teamwork's probably the most important thing. They have to work with their other launch directors, their launch chiefs, and with me.
Please step back. Please step back.
A lot of us are balloon pilots. A lot of us have worked on balloon crews, and we're just traffic cops. We're here, number one, for the safety of the balloonists, safety of the crew, and the safety of the general public. Now we're all clear, all safe.
Today, Glebe, the Bussies, Bond, and Flanagan launch off-field and fly in. Chance, Hartzell, and Sullivan will launch from the field to the off-site target. World champ Joe Hartzell is ready to fly his second day in the experimental Spider-Man balloon. The envelope is more tapered than others. Joe knows it'll take time to get the feel, but he's having fun and he has a strategy for today.
My first approach is going to be to fly the lower winds to the target and try to hit the most eastern target. And if I can't get zeroed in on that target, then I'm going to go up and use the higher winds, back up a little bit, and then move in on the western target.
After a disappointing Monday, Jetta is determined today. But she holds records for distance and duration flights. Competition is fairly new to her. She's got the spirit.
The winds yesterday were very low on the surface. The best thing that we needed was low. Today it looks like we'll go a lot higher.
Sullivan is one of the first off in the first wave. He fights difficult shifting winds. He'll need a good left stream to hit the target. The tough winds scatter the pilots as they come in. There won't be many close shots unless the winds settle down. But Jetta, fueled with determination, successfully works in for a throw. Sullivan keeps maneuvering. With a big windup, Jetta gets it in the ballpark.
There are hardly any women in ballooning. We're definitely a small percentage. It's starting to grow a little bit. I hope that more ladies do join the sport. I love ballooning. It's just a tremendous form of aviation, and all of our forms of aviation are so important. It's exciting for me to be a part of that entire industry in my own way through hot air balloons.
Hartzell doesn't make it to the target this morning. Still must be working on handling that new design. Sullivan comes in west of the target. It's big throw time.
Got to do it the hard way.
Off-site for the second event, Bond prepares his huge special shape and plans to win. Bond's crew chief comments on the wind.
There's a left on the deck on the field, so if they come in from the right, they can steer left and still hit the target.
Yeah, I'm gonna shoot it low until I get within about a quarter of a mile, then I'm gonna pop up and get that high right and go right in on the target.
My goal is to fly it straight in and straight down on the target.
We're going to the X. We're going to use some of this left on the ground to get over in position.
The winds seem to work well for the field target at the moment. Pilots are moving fast with good descents and accurate drops, but hitting the ground can be a problem in this wind. Henry Gabaldon drops fast in the General Mills balloon. It's going to be tough to level off, and he won't make it. Ouch. Whew. They hit hard, lose their baggie, and get disqualified. It can happen to the best pilots. Johnny Petra, number 304, is the hottest new pilot in this event. He placed third in this year's Nationals, and he's doing well in this event. Bond in Lil Buck is jammed in traffic, but fighting to break through. Petra descends and levels off perfectly to set up for his throw. Petra makes a very nice shot. Bond defies the odds and flies his big Norwest Bank special shape on a good path for the target. Bruce Bussey and Phil Glebe are approaching in the distance. Looks like a GM duel. Kevin Flanagan is coming in a bit high and wide, and Phil Bussey is coming in fast from the distance. And here comes Bond and Lil Buck. Bond delivers a great shot. Kim Kleist makes it look so easy. Now, he wins the most laid-back award. He moves in to within a foot from the ground and nonchalantly drops in for a great score. Flanagan makes maneuvers very well for a beautiful pass. He could get a good shot, and he does. It makes a nice drop. The beanbag bounces, but will still be a good score. Flanagan takes a bow, happy to be in the thick of the action. Bill Bussey descends quickly, but comes in too wide. He tries to level off, but quickly starts climbing. Bussey waits for the right angle, finally throws, makes a decent landing.
I'll take it.
Bussey drops in fast. Pontiac is also dropping fast, coming in for the target. Bussy puts the big Cadillac balloon right over the target and hustles for a fantastic drop. Brother Bill won't be happy about this.
Whoa!
Glebe makes a great descent and crosses dead center over the target. And here comes Bond and Lil Buck, baggy in mouth and ready to go. Bond delivers a great shot. Nice competition for the second race day. Good win, lots of fire. For race day 2, Tuesday, the top 3, Kim Kleist with .7500 for 1,000 points. Eric Bond with .8333 for 1,000 points. And James Mitchell with .37500 for 1,000 points. Bruce Bussey had 2.08 for 999, keeping him in overall first place with 1,999 points. Let's check out how our pilots did in today's competition.
Once again, with being rusty, I kind of underthrew the baggie. I threw it just a little bit and it skipped off the center. It hit dead center and skipped out, and that was good for third place, you know. So with a little bit of practice, I think getting back into it will be fun, but it's going to be tough to catch them. The Bussies are doing real good, and Phil Glebes, he's right in there too.
You know, I'm just happy it worked out this morning. Some people may be a little happier than I am. Well, Bruce here, he's got 2 aces this morning, and everybody's still in the hunt.
I had a great score today, and that little buck was coming in there. He was hogging space.
I tell you what, all I want to do is see guys like Joe and Bill and Phil here. If I can beat them, I know I'm in a good position. And luckily, I hear that I beat them this morning, and that's what I'm going for.
I did one of the Phil Glebe tricks.
Wait a minute. I take it.
This has got the best arm in the country.
Phil
right
Glebe has the best arm there is.
Is it really?
You can outfly Phil Glebe occasionally, but you can't outthrow him. Well, coming into the target, I set up to make my left turn, and I powered down through it and pushed through the turn and didn't come down soon enough to make the left into the turn. And I saw the left down there. So I said, oh my gosh. And fortunately, I made a Phil Glebe throw, and I actually had a reasonable throw. I'm still in the hunt, but I'm afraid that this turkey right here passed me. And so I would predict right now that overall, out of 650 balloons, that my brother Bruce, who I taught to fly,
Yeah, right.
he learned all his skills from me.
I can tell you what the winds are at high altitudes today. I needed a rocket launcher to get my baggie to the X. I want it to be a challenge. I want to go up to 6,000 or 7,000 feet and make it difficult. Do it the hard way, you know. Well, today, it was the hard way. Out in the boonies. My chase crew even had trouble finding me. I was so far out.
We came right down to the deck, and I just flew it about 5 to 10 feet off the deck, over the dirt hills, down in the ditches, just that contour flying, and got that really weak left-hand turn, but it was there, and played it all the way into the target, and it was so much fun.
It's interesting to see all of the burners blasting fire into the beautiful envelopes, yet the colors have no sight of soot or exhaust. Inside the envelopes is totally clean. That's one of the reasons propane is the fuel of choice.
Propane is cleaner burning. It requires less maintenance. You get extended engine life. It is typically cheaper than gasoline. And not last but certainly not least, it is a much cleaner burning fuel.
Well, speaking of fuel and heat, let's look at Albuquerque's green chili beer.
Turn it sideways like this, and you fill up your chili.
Bite off the end of the chili, dip it in the beer, fill up the chili.
That's the way you do it.
It gets hotter as you eat the chili.
And you take a bite each time.
His favorite green chili beer stand is also a chase vehicle and an antique fire truck.
1941, huh? And as you can see, we customized it for the balloon Fiesta. Oh, it's got a V12 engine in it, 24 spark plugs, and everything on it works, huh? I mean, the pump works. We're going to have a water fight tomorrow, huh? So don't miss that, huh?
Day 3 of competition begins with gusting high winds of more than 15 knots. The officials can't give a green light, so they decide to wait it out. Pilots listen to the radio for the latest report. The weather wizard keeps checking the winds aloft. Wind meters show over 7 knots on the ground, but in excess of 18 knots in higher winds. It's decided that the competitions are off, but the field will be open with pilot's discretion to launch.
Well, we have 2 winds that we worry about. The surface winds, because when people are taking off, if it's too quick with the crowds we have around here, You'd have balloons bumping into each other, maybe spectators, things like that. The winds in the first 1,500 feet we worry about because, again, with balloons going up there and the large numbers we have.
The winds being up this morning are what's having us delayed. We're on hold for the moment. I suspect they should subside a little bit and we'll get the thing going. Having the winds up creates some unique issues. Certainly from a competitive standpoint, because it's breezier, you have less time to react to the wind shifts, and you have to do it right the first time. Some of the flights we've had the last couple of days, we've had these light and variable winds where if you're not in a real good line and coming to the target, you have an opportunity to adjust, go higher, back up, do what you need to do to get over there. When it's breezy like this, it's a one-shot deal. So strategically, it's critical in a breezy situation to do it right.
Our pilots decide not to fly, except Joe Hartzell and his pal Kenny Gibson, Chuck Norris's stunt double for the Saturday night show Walker, Texas Ranger.
We took off and we got the balloon light, so we didn't have too much heat in it. We didn't want to overburn and come out of the field too fast, so we came out nice and smooth, and the balloon was tight, and picked up a little speed as we got above about 150 feet.
Kenny takes a high ape camera for us. It's one of our passenger cams. High winds, wind shears, and especially high wind landings can be dangerous.
And this anti-sail line broke and it formed a parachute. And the high winds just took the balloon off, and we're dragging along inside the balloon, two of us. Finally, we bailed out, and the balloon drug for another 1.5 miles and went and hit another barbed wire fence and just tore it to shreds.
You just pull the red line, which is take the valve out of the top, and it will eventually deflate, and then you just get out and shake all the dust off and get ready for another. But I love a good high wind landing.
We actually made 2 approaches into a fairly fast landing. Okay, we're going to hit the ground here about 12 or 15 miles an hour. This is going to be a little bit rough, so hang on tight. I was kind of moving a little bit fast in the basket. Kenny, he was the cool one. He had the camera in his hand.
I'm going to get you on this bump. Made for a lot of fun, actually.
Okay, here we go, guys. Vented, laid it right down. Got a little dust on it, a little dirty. Okay, we're down and safe on the ground. Balloon deflated just like it was supposed to. Woo! We survived another one.
You get all those real nice, gentle landings that we have out here in Albuquerque a lot. It's kind of fun to get a windy day where you can grease it on like that.
Knowing that the wind can cause a no-fly day, people come prepared.
Oh yeah, it's really calming down.
And it's a perfect time for weddings. It's actually a fairly popular way to get hitched in the basket of a balloon. Of course, flying away would be nice, but it's still fun. Spectators love to hit concession row. The Balloon Explorium is a favorite for kids. They can learn about the history of ballooning and some of the science involved in balloon navigation. The future of ballooning is also on display. The Odyssey Expedition is an amazing state-of-the-art balloon flight planned for June 1996. Bob Martin, Troy Bradley, and Mark Sullivan will travel around the world at over 25 miles above the Earth. They'll see space at 130,000 feet. And the 3-man crew will take the trip in this self-contained pressurized gondola, a combination of living quarters and laboratory. They'll perform a variety of experiments, and their futuristic flight will make history. Special shapes are the most difficult to fly in any wind. Let's take a look at special shapes at the Fiesta. Smaug the Dragon from Canada is a favorite, so is Mikasa Shukasa from New Mexico. The Pumpkin is from Ohio. Nellie the White Elephant is from Belgium. Here's a happy canine family from Japan. A yellow submarine from not England, but Moscow, Russia. And Archie from Illinois displays 28 animals representing all continents of the world. But the most recognizable, the most famous special shape here is definitely a castle. A 140-foot tall castle, the Disneyland Castle. And of course, Mickey likes to hang out at the castle. The Disneyland Castle in the Sky is an enormous and complex balloon. It's celebrating Disneyland's 40th anniversary in Anaheim, California, and it's a great example of special shape craftsmanship. It has 675 patterns and 2,750 panels. Fabric was specially dyed to create the pink shade of the walls. It has 5 miles of fabric and 15 miles of thread. The entire balloon is 13 stories tall. And Mickey Mouse made a special appearance to help launch the massive castle. We asked the pilot about the famous balloon.
Normal balloon, you can, from the time you take it off the truck, you can be airborne in about 10 minutes. With us, we're looking close to an hour when we start unloading. I think we have a crew of probably, well, we started with 15, and I think probably now we're up to about 25, which is a nice number, especially when we go to pack it. A lot like driving a sports car or driving a bus, and you have the same size engine in both. It's very nice weather conditions and real good steerage, which we have some days. The shapes can do, excellent.
There's a distinct element of magic in ballooning, and the castle in the sky captures that magic for all ages. Besides special shapes, gas balloons are another Fiesta favorite. Gas ballooning is exotic. Very few balloonists fly gas. The gas of choice, helium, allows pilots to travel great distances. There have been transatlantic crossings and several attempts to go around the world. Once the pilots lay out the balloon envelopes encircled with rope, helium is pumped into the envelope. It takes a couple of hours to fill. 1995 is the inaugural race for this new distance gas event. The object is simple: go as far as possible before weather or some other factor forces you to land. How far do pilots think they'll go?
Ending up somewhere around Colorado, Kansas, and then we'll pop it up and end up somewhere in the New York area, hopefully.
We're confident we're going to win. We've been doing this long distance game for quite a while. Our team actually holds the world duration record, which still holds, so we feel we're leg up.
Well, I've won this race 4 times. I've competed since 1979 in gas balloon races, and I've won more than I've lost. I've done it by flying great balloons and having a great chase crew and good co-pilots.
The motto is go the distance, so everyone has their own strategy of how to do it.
My hope is that we've gone lightweight on the entire system. Our gondola only weighs 70 pounds. My co-pilot and myself probably don't weigh as much as some of these pilots individually, so we'll be able to carry a little bit more ballast and hopefully be able to stay up a little longer.
These balloons are flown with ballast in the form of sand, and you have to be very stingy with that ballast, and that's what prolongs the flight for long durations, which gives you very long distances.
That's the strategy, is to manage the ballast. Sometimes the clouds will come over between you and the sun and you'll lose the heat and down you'll come. It might not influence your competitor. Your competitor might not have the same thermal pattern. So he does not have to use as much ballast. So there's some luck involved with it and some skill, both.
As the sun sets, everyone hurries to finish final preparations for a narrow launch window. The launches are timed to take advantage of the best possible weather. Pilots are here from Germany, Switzerland, Holland, Austria, England, but most are American. Each balloon must be walked to a common launch platform. Race director Mark Sullivan and officials check the balloon, then the national anthem for the pilot's country is played, a few goodbyes, and they're off. Troy Bradley had his first solo flight at the age of 14. At 21, he's the youngest FAA-rated gas balloon pilot in America. As pilots launch, they dump water or sand to gain initial lift. They need to gain altitude. Into the inky darkness up to 10,000 feet into the night. Davies and Davis didn't lift quickly enough and got caught in a sudden wind shift. They collided with 2 other balloons during their launch. That will cost them penalty points. The gas pilots traveled across America for 2 days. In the end, it was the Davis-Davies team that traveled the furthest distance at 1,404 miles. The Because of their collision takeoff, a 15% penalty on total miles put the Davies-Davis team in 4th place. The top 3 finishes for the America's Challenge gas race were: first, Abruzzo Melton, 1,393 miles. Second, Wallace and Woods, 1,290 miles. And third, Bradley Stevenson at 1,271 miles. Balloonists never quit. At night, the favorite activity is the balloon glow. After a no-fly day Wednesday, Thursday begins with beautiful weather at the pilots' meeting. The pieball is released and it looks perfect. Pilots are ready to fly. Today is a big race. All 650 balloons begin off-field about a mile away. Once signaled by radio, all balloonists launch at will, and they must fly into one of 3 cash poles and the target. One pole has $5,000, one has $1,000, one has $1,500 instant cash. Now, nobody knows which pole has what cash. The target means points toward the total point competition. That's important to our pilots. Off-site, our pilots get a late start trying to find the right launch site. Flanagan hustles to get inflated. He's on fire with 2 decent scores. A good score today will put Flanagan in the top 10 out of 650 competitors. This competition will make or break some of our pilots' scores. Phil and Bill are neck and neck. Both are after Bruce's first place position. Our pilots are psyched and focused to win. The field is ready as the balloons fill the sky. The winds are fantastic. For pilots who could get to the right launch position, the winds are blowing competitors en masse right to the field. There will be some pushing and shoving in this fantastic competition. Hundreds of balloons are racing for those cash poles. For anybody not high in points, the cash poles are the main target. Great piloting and generous wind pushes the group right at the poles. And Bruce Livornia, yet another Texan in 809, lines up perfectly for the pole.
Today's really tough. We've got lots of air traffic, and we're responsible for the balloons below us, and we got to watch lower. The winds are moving along, so we go up high, we kind of hover and back up, and other guys are coming in right underneath us, so we're just moving over, getting our shift.
Livornia is on the first pole. He gets the first pole for $1,500, and that's very early in the race for a pole to be taken. 2 poles left, but not for long with this cluster coming in fast. Flanagan follows Glebe, but the traffic is thick. They want a clear path to that target.
My strategy is to get low and in a hole here, and just keep working our way towards the X and not have to get high again to correct.
Our pilots have very different styles. You can't expect anything at the Fiesta. That $5,000 envelope and $1,000 envelope still up there. Hans-Dieter Ewers in 838 from Germany just misses the pole by 5 feet. Owen Keown in 256 lines up and makes the second pole grab for that $1,000. Owen Keown flies nicely over the target. Very nice drop, less than a foot from dead center. That's a grand slam. Lots of great target action, good moves. The third and last envelope for $5,000 instant cash is taken with nice form by James Galdoni from Missouri. Then an unidentified mystery balloon flies over for an unbelievable throw. It lands on top of the center stake. That's an instant 0-0. Perfect score. That takes the Most Awesome Throw Award. Beanbags are still flying. The pilots keep coming in the third and final day of competition. The Bussey brothers moving toward the target. And Flanagan is starting to descend onto the far edge of the field.
See, Phil's getting into some real thick traffic up there. And we've got some, but we're not too bad. If somebody can drop in and just bump you, it's legal.
Hartzell too high, too wide. Couldn't get in down through the traffic.
give him a little shove out of the way if we have to.
Bruce Bussey broken free in front of the pack, and he's coming right down the fast lane. If he scores well, he could win it. $10,000 for the first place, just a few feet away. Flanagan is crowded, but on a good path.
If somebody gets underneath you, there's a lot of strategy. It's like a chess match. You don't want to let somebody get underneath you, so you want to save that low wind, so when you're coming across the target, you're just off the ground instead of coming in from high and being taking the chance of having another balloon underneath you to block the target from you.
We need more right, man. Where are you going?
Bill Bussey is wide, but he's moving in through the pack. And Brother Bruce is once again right on the target, and with a graceful drop for a great score. The quiet Texan might have just kept his lead and won this event. Here comes Flanagan with Bill Bussey right behind. And Kevin Flanagan has a good position and a great throw. That will put him in the top 10. A tremendous return to competition for the young pilot flying for Columbia Sportswear. Johnny Petrin once again brings his Bayer balloon into a good position.
Here comes Bill. Come on, Bill! Do it, buddy! Woo!
Here comes Bill Bussey. It's a long throw. A great throw, but it takes a hop. That'll cost him, but it's good enough to keep him in the top 5. Hartzell comes in too high. His throw blocked by another balloon. Petrin is all over, and he makes an accurate throw that skips right toward the target. Oh, great score. He'll be in the top 5 overall. As the surface winds change, pilots get caught. One descent has an unexpected contact landing. Some contests use contact landings to score, but this was a touch on the rugged side. And here comes Hartzell again. He caught the box wind and came in for a second try, still too wide, but he winds up, throws. It's a fantastic throw. It's Hartzell's best throw of the competition. Well, he won't make the top 20, but he has had fun trying out the new balloon design. The 1996 Pontiac Sunfire drawing replaces the key grab for the car. Now, this event was canceled due to the wind. 10 people selected from the drawing. Each person is given a key. Each must try the key, and only one key works. And Joaquin Pilatre from France wins the new Pontiac Sunfire. It was a very tight competition. Final scores out of 3,000 possible points. First place, Bruce Bussey, $2,998, $10,000. Second, Mark Bowie, $2,996, $7,000. Third, Johnny Petrin, $2,991, $5,000. Bill Bussey finished 4th, Phil Glebe 6th, Mark Sullivan 7th, and Kevin Flanagan 8th. 5 of our featured pilots finished in the top 10 out of 650 pilots. Pilots travel thousands of miles, spend thousands of dollars, and deal with volatile weather, all just to get the rush of ballooning. Is all that preparation, travel, and work worth it? Well, just ask any of them. They'll tell you with the gleam in their eye, there's nothing like flying with wind and fire.